Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome to Dyson Sphere Program, where we've just set up a whole load of refined silicon smelting on a different planet that's actually going to just ship here, and it's great. It's also making processors. The entire planet's basically devoted to processors. Fantastic. So today we're actually going to work on something a little bit different. We're going to go over our previous setup and we're just going to rig it all for logistics in addition to making ourselves a mall. Now, we do have a tiny little, really kind of trashy mall down here that I made very quickly. It's not efficient, and also I need to manually feed it with stuff. Like, you'll see that, hey, we're not producing belts over here because we're out of super magnets, which kind of unfortunate because we really like our blue belts. In fact, so much so that while I'm even doing this and we're talking about a new mall and we're building a new mall, I will be grabbing more super magnets because I kind of want this running all the time. We will be replacing it, obviously, but there we go. Super magnets. And it has built us a load of drones and stuff, although obviously the production rate isn't super because we're not actually piping in processors, we're actually making them on site. This predates our processor planet. So we're going to actually make a proper mall. This is a thing of the past. We are going over here, where I have prepared some land. Well, because, quite frankly, there's just a big area here, and it's quite near to stuff we already use, like our AM production, which we go to for the deuterion fuel rods. By the way, we're still running pretty good on those. I just love the power in them. Anyway, so this is a setup that I admittedly pulled from someone's post on Reddit. It's an absolutely beautiful design, so I'm going to be using that. And the start of this is, it is a self-contained place where everything you could generally mostly want in terms of end products is available. So, for instance, smelters, solar panels, belts, inserters, sorters, vessels, drones, all of that is available here. So the idea is that no longer do we need to really pocket craft most of this stuff. We just pick it up and then we go, and it will make the stuff here, and not in huge quantities. There's only going to be one assembler for each thing, but it will generate them at a relatively slow rate, and it will not be connected to anywhere else by any belts. It is just connected by drones, and they'll fly the stuff in as needed. Now, this obviously means that we need to make sure that things are being provided by drones, so we need to make sure that there are outputs in our places that can be used as an input for the mall. But we cannot do that anyway, so I'm going to set up the mall first. That way we'll know what we need to prioritize. I'm going to give a bit of space in case we want to expand anything. We'll go there. And then I believe it's a 6 gap. So I'm actually going to measure this out with belt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then mall. Second one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then more third one. And these are going to be some of our inputs. The idea is that each thing will be inputting, I believe, 3 lanes of stuff. This is a really compact design, which I guess you don't need compact too much. I guess on your home planet you do, because you will run out of space eventually here, but you've got a myriad of other planets, so it doesn't matter too much. Right. Now, the setup for these is you will be providing coils, motors, and iron. Now, notice that we are going to need to be producing motors, which is actually not something we particularly do, not as an end product. We do produce it as an intermediate product, and we can always pull from that stage. But we're going to have to work on that. We also need to make coils available somewhere. I don't think they're readily available yet. Iron, obviously, we've got loads of. And this is all set to supply. This one is going to be circuit board, processor, and then we're leaving this slot blank because this will eventually be something that we haven't actually researched yet, so we will leave you for now. And this is going to be stone, steel, and alloy. Here we go. And then we're going to put down our assembling machines. Now, these, I believe, You know what? We'll put down the belt first, at least so we can kind of gauge where this is going. This belt is going to be motors. So we'll put that belt in there. This belt is going to be magnetic coils. And I believe we need to give it a 1 brake there. And then, last but not least, iron. And that will go out 1 and then go across. So this is going to be our iron belt. And then we're just going to be copying you across. Now, we do want to kind of leave a 1 gap in between so that we can like run belts through and stuff. Like this is going to be a fairly messy build, which is one of the reasons I like using this design plan, because these things can get truly and utterly spectacularly messy because each thing will demand different items, etc. And the point about a mall is it's relatively compact. Not because of the space requirement, you know, you need to save space on your planet, but mostly because you don't want to walk around a lot. You just want to be able to land, grab your things, and head off. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need to go, I think, like 20 wide or something. Yeah, I know, maybe not as small as I envisioned, you know, I talked about, but it will make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this first one is going to be building Tesla Tower. This one, wireless tower. This one we're leaving for something we don't have yet. This one we leave for something we don't yet have. This one is going to be Assembler Mark 2, Assembler Mark 1, Belt Mark 1, Belt Mark 2, Belt Mark 3, and this is all going to be available in the mall. Sorter Mark 3. And you can see the logic. Like, these will actually be using sorters, inserters, whatever you want to call them, to go between the machines, just provide the next step. So, we will put you down. You are now Mark 2, Mark 1, and we're going to need to take over the sea. There we go. Okay, so it's sorters. We've still got splitter, smelter, pump, miner, storage, tank, lab, thermal plant to do. So, bam. Again, make sure to leave that gap. I don't want to cock it up here, because if I cock it up, then we're going to have to replace a lot and move everything over. 2, 3. Okay, so that is splitter, smelter, pump, miner, storage, tank, lab, thermal plant. What the hell's a thermal plant? I'm not even sure that's the thing we have yet. Either way, planning for the future. We'll run these to the end. Like that. Okay. Where were we? Here we go. So you are a splitter. See, pocket crafting can be a thing of the past with this. Smelter. Pump. So rarely use pumps. I'm often like, wait, what's a pump? What does it look like? What's the icon? Storage. Where are we going to be pumping in our stone blocks from? I guess maybe we should be pumping in the stone blocks instead of stone at the bottom one. Yeah, it's probably actually stone block, not stone. That's storage. One thing this doesn't have is storage Mark IIs, which just uses steel instead. That can actually be added to the bottom line. So there are a couple of things that aren't on this mall, just because the person who developed it didn't particularly use them and was like, I left them off. You can always add them. I think the easiest place to add storage Mark II will be actually on the bottom row. So we'll continue on. This one is going to be a tank, a lab, and then thermal plant, which I don't believe we have. What even is a thermal plant? I haven't seen that one yet. You know, we'll actually start researching satellite power distribution because this is way ahead of, like, we should have done this a long time ago. So we'll start working on that. Not that we actually have the frame sphere stuff that we need. Which I believe is... Where is it? I know what it looks like. It's like a weird cross symbol. Here. Oh, it requires like a whole load of this tech, which we haven't done. Photon frequency, sail, etc. Okay, well, we'll do the start, I guess. Thermal plant. Thermal plant. Do any of you give thermal... Oh, you know what? I have no idea what a thermal plant is. That's fine. Right. So then we want to run circuit board out the top of here. Then processor out the middle. And then we'll actually put just a placeholder in for that bottom one because we don't have it yet. Now, there's one bit where this is going to get kind of funky, and that is that we actually need to place a tower in the middle of this. So we're going to just chop this. And then get ourselves a logistic tower. And this needs to be placed so that it does not intercept the quantum chip bit line. So, probably like that. And then it is... I think there? Okay, we got the satellite. Not that we can build it. You know what? These gaps are actually wider than need be. God damn it. I was wondering why this looks so large. It's because everything technically can be moved over one because we only need to be able to put a... And this is actually big enough for multiple lines. Okay, don't mind me. I'm just going to shift everything. I figured out what it is. Thermal plant. It is... Where is it? Here we go. Thermal power station. That's what a thermal plant is. Okay, that goes here. And that is gears, turbines, and supermagnetic rings. And then we just need to figure out how to make this work. So I believe super magnets come out this way. And also this way. Turbines out here. And gears out here. And then just figure out how to get the other lines to go around. Like this line, I think, can just go straight through. This line and this line are probably going to have to be raised up. So we will... Oop. That one's probably going to go around the top. And this one around the bottom. And like that. Like that. And then the difficulty is like, how quickly can we turn with there? Right. There we go. On drones. Okay. That's wrong. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Also, why are you not... Oh, you are at Mark of Iron. It's just almost invisible to see. It should be processors, not circuit boards. There we go. Bam. And that is not meant to be super magnets. Am I just placing these wrong, or is there like a bug? Because this feels kind of weird that I'm getting this one wrong all the time. You'd think I'd be learning. That's turbine. I'm gonna watch to make sure. Yeah. Okay. Right. This leads us over to here, where we need one for glass, graphite, and frames, which we haven't got yet, but we have seen on the tree. Judging this, I think it lines up perfectly like that. And then... Oh, we might as well tell you are glass, graphite. Obviously, we haven't worked out frames yet. Glass, graphite. Oh, you know what? We can actually shift this up a little bit. I'm just going to copy that very briefly. That way, in theory, it just it doesn't retain information when you copy it. Okay, it's one of the very few items that doesn't. There we go. Because we don't actually need these last two runs here. So, glass, graphite, and then obviously we don't have frames. And then we run glass, graphite, and then those kind of stop. And then we run these all the way back. You see, this is quite complicated. See what I mean? Now, over here, we've already programmed you. I believe that's actually going to be stone blocks by the look of it. Stone brick. Because nothing really uses stone. As far as I'm aware, everything here will actually be using stone brick. For instance... what would be a good example of something that does? Like, yeah, oil extractors and oil refineries. Both of them are stone brick. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be stone brick for us. Then we want to have this pull out with stone brick here. This is our first tile. So we want to go to the second tile. And then this way. And then steel and alloy. 1, 2, 3, which works out perfectly. M. And then obviously we just need to put in our factories. So I'm actually going to use this. And then obviously we'll cancel you. Right, and I believe this is another run of 20. Although, as we've discovered, we probably want to put storage on the top. So I'm just going to keep going across with this. Ah! Oop. And then that will be where we produce Mark IIs. So since we're here, this is our Mark II storage. This is something we don't have. This is something we don't have. This is something we don't have either, I believe. Okay, you know what? Let's start at the other end. Maybe the stuff we actually have over here. Fusion plant. Oil extractor. Oil refiner. Chem plant. Fractionator, which reminds me, we probably want to expand our amount of those. Energy exchanger? I don't believe I have that. That's what you use for charging things and stuff, I believe. Planetary logistics. Interstellar logistics. Something we don't have. Reinforced thruster. This is actually going to be a component. And over here is normal thruster. Because these are the vessels in between. Drones and vessels. Then it is the accumulator. No. Okay, so like this one on the end we know is foundation. This one on the end we know is storage. And then everything in between is basically we don't have the tech for, which is fine. Great. Then we need to put in, I believe, 3 below. So we're actually going to measure 3 below here. 1, 2, 3. We'll do the same over here. 1, 2, 3. This is going to happen in a few places. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to need no one of these, and this is going to be for nanotubes and something else I believe we also don't have. And yes, it's just between the chem plant. Then the next one lines up perfectly with planetary logistics. So here. And the next one goes after the accumulator, where there's something we don't have. But I believe it is offset by 1. And then I think we don't have anything that this last one needs. Obviously, there's a whole load of tech up here that we don't have. So, this is the last one in the plan, the foundation. It's crossing between the 2 before this. So, I believe here. Yeah. Okay, and then we can get rid of the guides. Right. And you are pulling in plasma exciters and no, not particle containers actually. Sorry, this is nanotubes. You are pulling in the particle container. And I believe titanium. And this would be the particle broadband that we haven't discovered yet that we're talking about as well. And then over here, this will be more circuit boards, silicon, which I'm assuming is refined silicon, and copper. And this is mostly just for a whole load of solar panels, because we use quite a lot of them. And then this, nothing. We have nothing that goes in this one. Easy enough. Right. Then out of here we want silicon, copper, circuit boards. And then I believe, I don't know how far these actually go. So I'm just going to put like a rough estimate in for now. I think it's 3 solar panel factories. Or 4 solar panel factories. 1, 2, 3. Whoever did this really liked solar panels. So the diagram shows this as being on a corner, but I'm not sure we can quite do that. Yeah, it collides, so I think it's actually going to be a 1 gap. So the diagram might be wrong here, or I could be getting this wrong. I think this is fine, though. Okay, so that effectively will give us everything we need. Now, obviously, we need to power this. We need to put in the actual vertical lines, because some of these things need things from rubber belts. And we also need to put in storage chests. Now, we could use storage Mark 2s, but I think storage Mark 1s are going to work fine for our purposes. Like, we're never going to need a storage Mark 2 of solar panels. And if we do, well, I'll start it. You know what? I've got storage Mark 2s on me. And there's only a few places where that might cause an issue where there is tight room. You know what? Yeah, actually, there are some places where that'll be too tight. So we'll grab some stone blocks. We'll grab some iron. Oh, hello. Power system is definitely shutting down. Look at the coal there. How are we doing for power? Oh, generation has dropped by like 100 megawatts. That is interesting and a little bit scary. And yes, just make like 20. Okay, we might need more than 20 just because we have like, what, 40 things? We'll take all the stone here. And I guess we'll grab some more iron. Where's the nearest iron? Just because I can't bother going all the way back up there. There's iron in the mall. Or they used all the iron? Nope, there is still iron here. Sweet. Grabbing that. There we go. Now, the simple thing here is that every factory is just going to be pushing to a box, which is going to be right above it. And that way we can just run across the outside going past the boxes. I don't believe we need to leave another gap or anything. So it's hi-ho silver. And obviously there's a little gap in between the boxes themselves, which we can always use for like power panels or something. And this is where we're going to dump all of these. Now, we might not want to do that with certain things like the belts. Like, do we want Mark 1 and 2 belts? Do we just want to switch everything to Mark 3s and then never care again? It's a little bit resource inefficient, but it also makes expandability real easy because each bearer line is at max capacity anyway. For now, though, resources are still kind of an issue for us, so we will do this. Right, that's the first set of boxes. Our second set of boxes, also quite simple. Right below. Hey there. What is your job again? Plasma exciters and nanotubes. Gotcha. But I don't think we need to change our box layout for that. Because, again, there's gaps between. What's this? Oh, the energy exchanger, which we don't have. This is... Oh, no, this is the energy exchanger. What's this? No, that's the energy exchanger. This is... Oh, that's the orbital collector, which allows you to like collect stuff from gas giants. We don't actually need a box here because this is a thruster and we don't want thrusters. Like, they don't do anything. So we're actually going to leave a gap. And then again, another thruster. And I believe everything else is basically we want a box for, so... And then we'll also want a box for that one. Right. Now, there are a couple places where we'll need another box. And by a couple, I mean, I think literally one, and it's the solar panels. We'll put the solar panel box there. Because obviously you have to inject into it. Right. The question is, do we want to feed in objects now, and that'll make it easier to see what object is going where, or do we want to do the north-south lines? Probably do the north-south lines first. No, actually, it'll be easier to see. It'll be easier to see where we need these lines. Okay. The idea being that, like, if we see everything going and then this saying, hey, I'm short of something, we can be like, right, you need plasma exciters, so we run a plasma exciter line in. Like, it would be easier for us to do that. So I think we just turn this on and then look what, like, things we aren't collecting, and then we start hooking up logistics to the system. Now, obviously, to turn it on, everything needs power. So I'm just going to hook up a couple of power poles on the outside. There. All these charging. You're going to be a little bit more difficult here. No, that should be easy. Okay. And I guess we'll just put a power pole there. That might end up needing to be moved. That should be everything being connected now. Right. We have a load of drones. The problem is we probably don't have enough to give 50 drones to each. So what I'm going to do is say we give like 20 drones to each or something, or maybe like 30. Because how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not using one of them, so assume 8 for now. 25 and a bit each. So let's say we give each 30. That should be more than enough to get started with. Especially because, hey, they're not going to be picking up a lot of stuff. There we go. And our drones do have, like, excellent capacity now. We've given them a proper upgrade. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So, boop. 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 We're going to need to switch these all to demand, obviously. Probably should have done that when I was going through them to begin with, but whatever. You still don't have power. Okay. And you know what? We'll give this one drones as well. Just so that, like, I don't forget in future. Okay, why do you not have power? Oh, you aren't transmitting power from there to there? Alright. There we go. Okay, demand. Now, we're not actually providing either of those to the grid, so that's obviously one thing we need to work on. Demand circuit boards. No. Demand refined silicon. Demand copper. Neither of these are provided to the grid. This is being provided interstellar, but this is only a local station, so we'll need to make one of our interstellar stations collect that. Demand. This we will get. And so will we get this. We aren't making that. We are making this. This isn't being provided. This isn't being provided. This is being provided. That isn't being provided. This is being provided, but only interstellar. And none of these are being provided either. So now we have a rough idea what we need to actually specialize in and grab. There are two things here that are only being provided on an interstellar level, one of which is refined silicon, the other one which are our processors. Honestly thinking we just plonk down an interstellar hub nearby, and we have that interstellar hub do the job. And if it's nearby, then we can just get back in from it really, really easily. So we'll grab an interstellar hub, and we will plonk it. Well, honestly, we could do with an interstellar hub that also goes off-world for iron and also goes through our iron belts. So we could maybe like do this at the same time, because a local hub only has 3, whereas an interstellar has 5. So the interstellar will get us the processors and the refined silicon, and then also we could have 3 spare just being provided here, but which are also available off-planet if we end up using more than we have. I'm specifically talking about copper and iron. We could do it with magnets as well. Obviously, all the magnets are technically being routed in here. If we were going to do this, we'd probably want to plonk it here, because that way it gets the iron output. And obviously, like, these lines can be upgraded. We can also save a lot of space with these ore belts, because they aren't running at their full capacity. They are also definitely not running at full capacity for a blue belt. So we could make these 2 blue belts and they'd have space left. So I'm actually going to cut this belt here. And then cut these belts. And what we'll do is we'll feed them all together. And then we'll make you a blue belt. And then provided these are blue belts all the way through, should do the job. Now, in theory, we also have to let the iron deplete, which it's depleting that one. It'll deplete this one next, and then it'll deplete the last one. Okay, there we go. It's starting to go. So now, to hook these up, we will need to basically matrix them, or at least blend them in some sort of fashion. So, boop, 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 boop. And that. Like that. Like that. And there we go. And that should... Yeah, you can see that the belts aren't even full. And that's given us a bunch of space to work with. Hell, if we want to, we could also run these belts over. And that would give us even more space. The copper lines. So we have 3 copper lines here, outputting to 3 copper lines here, 3 iron lines. That's fine. We can easily manage that. We'll just output from 3 sides. The input is going to be a little bit harder, but again, we can use a blue line for that. So we'll cut these lines here. We'll cut that line there. We'll cut these lines there. We might even have to have the ore lines go over or something. Oh yeah, nothing drains this other line. Just gotta remember what's on each line, to be fair. It's gonna be frustrating. Okay. Yeah, we'll cut the ore line, and then we'll have the ore line go over. Okay, so 3 copper, 3 iron. Should be easy enough to remember. And then, to keep this consistent, we'll have you on the ground as well. Right. Interstellar hub. Place it. I think that's enough room. I was hoping we could, like, merge some lines and something. Like, we probably have room to do some line merging here. We'll need to get a bit funky. But I'm gonna just make sure the input sections are blue. We can probably get rid of this second line here, which means that copper can go in instead. We'll upgrade the entire line to blue. Just, again, because it's simpler than dealing with the fallout. And then we merge lines here or something. Right. And then boop, 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 boop. Boop. Yeah. And that way that will run at less than its full capacity. This is still kind of a bodge job, but whatever. Right, and then we'll say you are iron, copper. We'll also say refined silicon and processors. And then we'll say remote demand, local supply, remote demand, local supply. This is all local supply up here, including remote supply if we need it. In fact, we could say remote supply, remote demand. And then we'll also pull them from off-world. And we'll stick the max amount of logistics in there. So our logistics are actually going to grab stuff. Oh, you can see we're actually sending iron as well. So it's beginning to happen. Going to grab all this. Great. Now on this other side, we do need to feed in these copper lines. Quite simply, we're going to split them. Splitter them. And then just send them over. And we'll might as well use our... Okay. And there's more copper. Now the question is getting the belts out. We'll probably just pull them out using standard setup for now. But we could like have pulled them out with fancier belts and then tried to have made it look casual and split them down and whatever. Oh, hello. A little bit wonky there for a second. Do we even need to hook out the other copper belt? Probably not, but I'm going to hook it up anyway. Okay, and then we need to get to the ore. So we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we'll continue using the Mark II belts just because we know that they work. I love the fact that you can hold shift and it just stops the snapping. That's so beautiful. I was so, like, getting frustrated with it until I learned you could do that just by being like, I wonder if they did. Oh, they did. They know UI. They understand. This is amazing. And there we go. Now we're feeding the ore in as well. I'm also going to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. So, there we go. We are now feeding in ore. My only desire would maybe be to have magnets being fed in, but we don't need that. Also, having our magnetic rings available would also be good. The problem is, where would we place that? You know what? We've got a load of generators we aren't using. We could literally feed over to an area here, take away some generators. Or we could place it here. We could send turbines at the same time. Yeah, that might actually work. So, let's interrupt these belts. This is going to get a little funky. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a splitter. And I kind of want to do that. Because that will just save us from having to try and figure out how to go up a level. Yeah, this will work. Okay, so we bring that back. We go... oh, crap. No, we can't do that. Okay. Ha! We move you in there. You go up to the next level. And then we can come out with a blue. Oh, hell, we've got gears here. This is great. We can also send gears over. So we could have all three items that we kind of were hoping to be able to provide being provided. We'll need to, unfortunately, grab some of these. So, send you out. We'll also want to send the gears out. You know what? We'll just use blue for it. And then up. And then we'll get gears, and then we'll also want turbines. This is actually the easiest part, is the turbines. Because we'll cut turbine here. Cut turbines here. And we can, like, feed into turbines from anywhere. Local hub. And then we want to give some space for, like, drop down, etc. So I'll put the hub there. I would like you to be magnets, gears, and for the pièce de résistance, not motors, although motors would be great. Turbines. We do actually need to do motors. Motors are here. What are you doing down there? You could do turbines if we... You know what? Yeah, let's put turbines down there. I didn't need to delete that. I don't know why I deleted that. We'll do motors instead. So, place. Gear. EM. Motor. And this is set to supply. We'll also want to power it. Motors. Now, motors are kind of funky because we actually have them like this weird extendable line that we didn't need to do and makes it kind of frustrating. We can pull it in and out of here. We just might need to make some adjustments. But either way, blue bearer line. Come down. Come down. And in we go. And then we need to feed out. And here's the fun part. We actually need to feed out with, I believe gears go to here, which isn't too hard. You also require magnets in these two places. What are you pulling from over here? Oh, that's where you're placing. Okay. So gears and magnets need to go quite close together. Gears, easy. And that's a green belt of gear. So we say out as a gear. Up. Down. And we might have an issue with that. Maybe it won't be as easy as I thought. Okay. I think there is a solution, which, as most solutions go, is predictably annoying. We go up 2. That'll give us much more room to maneuver. Oop, 1 too many. Yeah. Because then we take this gear belt to here, or we don't, because that's down and I didn't mean to do that. Go down 1 with it. We go across only 1, then we drop down, and then we turn in. And then magnets. Okay, magnets are green as well. So there might be... Can we get... I wonder if we can get... I don't think we can get it, but... Yep, no, we can't fit that in. It was so tempting just to be like, hey, this will fix all our problems. But we can't quite fit that in there. Not with those belts like that. Not with those belts like that. But what if the belts weren't like that? What if the belts were like that? And then green belt out. Connected. Green belt out. Connected. Oh, yeah, sorry, we have to go. Ah, no! Well, at least that still didn't break because it's all being absorbed by something that will smart absorb, but that's annoying. There we go. And then we just need to get a blue belt to come over and do the job. So we then only take out 1 belt, which is easier on us, of magnetic rings, which we send over, through, and in. And then we should be producing again. And then the only thing we have to do is to deal with engines, which is going to be a little bit weird. Specifically because I think we have to extend this belt. Wait, come on. So extend that belt. And then just bring it in there. Extend this belt. Extend this belt. Extend this belt. Extend this belt. Duplicate that. I think dupe's okay. And then obviously it needs power. And then now we have an extra turbine. We can delete these two. Which gives us room to do kind of funky stuff with this belt of engines. And it's not even going to be that funky. It's going to be pretty like limiting. I could have obviously taken them from the end, but that means that we'd only be getting excess from the production. And I don't want to just get excess. I want to be able to try and level out production across the board. So what we do is we take the engines this way. So we'll cut our engine production temporarily. And then we'll want to send... Where is it? Here we go. I wonder if I can get two of these in. No, because their bounding box is frustrating. Ah! Okay, fine, whatever. Two can play that game. So, you go up. In. You go in. And then from the upper, we have an out. And this upper is going to travel backwards along this belt. Until we get to here. Oh, and we actually need to upgrade this because basic belt is not going to be enough. There we go. And then we're going to need feedback. So for feedback, we're going to put a green belt in as well. Engine. And then we're just going to feed back right next to it. And I think if we're really cunning about this, can get this to work. Might need a little bit of fiddling. Bam, 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 bam. Stay up. Go down. Yes, I think this is working. And so that's going to feed in there. And then this one comes out like that. And then this one is going to come down. And there we go. Okay, and we have turbines being made again. We have engines. Everything is looking pretty damn good. I'm actually going to just make the belts a little bit neater. Just kind of bugs me. There we go. The only thing we have to worry about now is turbines. And the turbines do get fed through the center slot here. I want to put the turbines in here and then call them out later. So one thing I will do is just make a couple of adjustments. Is turbines need an in and an out. And turbines go in here currently. Okay. Might be easier to do our turbine out first, although do you have any turbines to... Okay, if we select turbine... We'll just use blue. Why not? Yeah, we can select turbines here. What we'll do is we'll select turbine out. I really love the fact we can go up with cables and all this jazz. It's so useful. We'll go one over. We'll go here, and then I think we can make it into that line of turbines. Yes. Then what we'll do is this is the turbine in line, and I think honestly we'll just take it really far up. Like, why worry about doing it a fancy way when we can just brute force it? And we'll use the blue because we can. So we'll follow the current setting. And then there we go. Now that should make it accessible. Perfect. Now obviously we're pushing out the turbines. So right now there's going to be nothing really stored for other things to pick up. But once we increase production and stuff, that will actually allow that to be a reality. Yeah. Also, we'd probably need to increase engine production because right now all the engines are getting eaten by the EM turbines. And if anything, we're eating twice as many EM turbines as we have. But once they reach their maximum, there'll be excess. I think what we'll do is we'll extend the engine production this way. We'll move the turbine production to here, which there is space for. Make it more extensible in future. Ooh, so many generators dark. Right. And what are we looking at now? We did get some engines before we hooked up the output. We haven't got any processors, so processors is something we're going to have to maybe deal with. We have got that. Steel beams, no, but I know where we can get some. Because... I don't know if you recall, but I certainly do. We have a huge steel farm over here that we never really fully utilized. And I need to dive. Thank you. This is our steel farm. And it looks to me like it outputs quite a lot of steel. So I'm going to make one minor adjustment just to give us a bit more space. And I'm going to put in a local distribution. There. I'm going to say that you provide steel. We could also maybe let you provide iron by having these output at the back in case we ever, max out on iron. And then we output our steel here. Now we'll actually be getting a whole load of iron that we can now ask for. And yep, you can see that things have already said, hey, this is mine. Things are now designated for transport. Obviously we need to provide power to these things. And there's the steel. Look at them! Interstellar transport. Oh, we're using the maximum interstellar transports. All 10 of them are being sent out. Obviously, we're pulling in things from, other planets, so it's kind of fair. A lot of stuff is getting pulled into that place. And with that, we are now basically producing about half the stuff we need. Only issue is here. We aren't really getting any of these. I think that's because somewhere's using them to the max, maybe? Or have I got a wrong setting? I'm going to just up this. So this is going to be a bit weird because they're going to be asking for like 5,000 or whatever. These are set to supply, so I'm a bit confused about why they're not being picked up. Oh, is that one still set to supply? I might have just not converted that one. These are on demand. That one's on demand. That one's on demand. That one is demanding. That one, yes, it's on supply. Demand. Oh, we're actually asking for cogs. Turbines is not any available, but yes, we are now asking for the supermagnetic rings. Demand, and yep, nothing there. Okay. Now, that's a lot of stuff we're asking for. 200 megawatts now and climbing, because both our drones being sent out, which need charging, and also by requesting huge stockpiles of these items, like each of these is 5,000 stockpile, we're basically running our production at max. So not doing science right now is probably a good option, because that would really hurt. But the mall is looking good, and I've gone way over on the length of this episode. I think next time we're going to fix a few more things, and we'll probably end up doing some basic production of processors, which, here's the great thing. We can just ask for iron, ask for copper, and then processors we feed back into the tower. So the tower will ask for iron and copper, and then send processors. It's one tower, a bunch of factories, done. Like, it'll look amazing, all self-contained. Engine is a bit more problematic. Obviously, we can still ask for gears and magnetic coils and iron and then send engine. We could do that. The thing is that now we have this logistics setup. We can basically make most of these with just a logistics tower. That's a little more complicated because we need to ask for glass, which we aren't actually making in quantity. We're making a tiny bit. The same true for stone blocks. So we might actually want to set up a full stone smelting array. Oh, did I never set you up for solar panels? Sorry about that. And we'll copy the solar panel across to there. Right. Well, that's it for this episode. If you've liked, please remember to like and not subscribe. Please consider subscribing. If you want to poke me, then on the Discord and chat, then like feel free to follow the link tree to all those. I will try and remember to post the link to the Reddit thread with this mall setup in case you want to like do it on your own. I will probably forget, in which case poke me on the Discord or something, or I'll probably have it like linked on the Discord. Ooh, motion tech to the front door. Thank you. Until next time, stay shiny.